Sorry, yang ni masih kod lama, saya lupa ubah. Alright. So what is a need analysis? So all of you already understand about the need analysis and then the process. Okay. So need customer need or need analysis, we need to
Betul.
sorry. Yeah.
Record tak?
Sekarang Google Meet tak boleh record kan? If I'm not mistaken lah. Boleh tak?
Tak boleh.
Kan, dah tak boleh kan? Saya rasa sekarang dah tak boleh record. So, please listen lah. Carefully, sama macam kita pergi kelas lah. Tak ada record pun kan? Okay. So, siapa yang tak datang tu, tak hadir ke kuliah saya, tak payah duk tengok lah. Siapa suruh tak datang kuliah betul tak? Kan? Boleh. Tibai kau tahu. Sekejap I don't know whether you all of you can listen clearly or not my voice before I'm continue my lecture.
Yes,
Clear.
Okay, Chun. Kalau clear, we can continue. Alright. So for need identification process, sure, we need to have a customer need lah. We need to follow the customer needs. That's why we call need customer need analysis. So what are the customer want? We need to consider. Alright. Why? Because we want to achieve our project goals. Okay. So in a customer need, we need to match between product and customer need to ensure our product development is success. Okay. Without considering the customer need, we can produce the product, but the product cannot be sold. Ataupun the quality of the product maybe not meet the customer want. Okay. Customer need is dynamic because everyone they have their own needs. For example, you and me maybe have a different opinion, maybe have a different needs for each for certain product. So that's why we need to analyze lah all the customer needs. We cannot consider all, but we cannot accept all. We need to consider by doing the some analysis. We using a tools. Okay. Mismatch in needs and goal are common in engineering design. Macam saya kata tadi lah. Right. So in order to understand needs, they have several type of needs. This need also you need to understand and then you need to memorize ataupun remember. Okay. First of all, we call direct needs. What is direct need? Okay. Direct need concern about the product, which is easy to determine. For example, if you see something ataupun if you see any product, what are the idea ataupun what's the main thing appear in your mind? That is a direct need. Easy to understand. For example, cost. Sure, when we see the product, when we see the any product, we want to know the cost. Betul tak, student? Kan?
Betul.
Yes, sir.
So, if you think that one is priority ataupun easy to determine, we call it direct need. Good looking, for example, that one also direct needs. Easy of operation also direct needs. Okay. Second, latent needs. Latent needs is beyond the customer expectation. Okay, maybe not product related, but use or system related. Sometimes not focus on the product itself, but inside the product, for example, system ke apa ke, that one is latent need. Okay. Now I'm we use digital camera as a example for to understand what is customer need. Okay, for digital camera, latent needs maybe obtaining print ataupun compatibility. That one is latent needs beyond the customer expectation. Alright. They also have a constant need. Constant need is intrinsic to the product. For example, yang tadi dia kalau if we see the level, the priority is yang before tadi apa we call it direct need. Second level we call constant need, because constant need we can see the features to the product compared to the latent need. Latent need is the number 3 lah. Okay, because this is beyond customer expectation. Okay, so easy to understand if we follow the rule of thumb. The first one is direct need, second constant need, third latent need, and then the last is special needs. So this is step ataupun order for customer needs. So for now we just understand about the four type of needs lah. Alright. Okay, special needs. Nama pun special. So what is special for the product? For example, digital camera we can use underwater or high altitude application. Okay, this is a special needs. Okay, clear? Type of needs you need to understand. Okay, what's goal of the need identification? Why we need to understand ataupun why we focus on the customer need? Because to make sure product is focused to the need, to identify all needs and to guide product development process. Okay, so how what the process inside the customer need? First, the scope definition, because if we don't have a scope or our problem is too general, then we get data also too general, so it a bit difficult to process. That's why we need to determine the scope. Okay, for example, we want to produce the camera. So what the scope of our camera? Maybe we want to use our camera for professional only. This is the scope. Or our camera can use both night and day. This is the scope. So we need to identify our scope. And then from there, we can gather and interpret raw data. Okay, how to gather and interpret the data, class? Who can answer? Method ataupun how we gather the data, collect the data. I already explained from the previous class.
Survey.
Okay. Normally we use a survey, and then other than that,
Interview.
yeah, correct, good. Macam ni lah bila saya tanya ada yang jawab. Alright. Okay, so from the survey ataupun interview we can get ataupun collect the data. From there we need to interpret. Okay, which one is okay, which one is we can delete, like as I told you before. Okay, third is a need organization and establish importance. Okay, so we need to establish which one is okay, which one is not important, which one we can delete, ataupun yang sometimes we get the data not give any useful information for our future development, so we can eliminate that data. Okay. Okay, this is a neat process. Define the scope, get the raw data from interview ataupun focus group ataupun observation. And then next step, interpret raw data by do the need statement. Step 3, organize the need. Okay, that's why we need to have a hierarchy. Hierarchy is which one is primary, secondary, and tertiary needs. Okay, and then step 4, establish importance. So by establish important, daripada hierarchy tadi, kita akan tengok yang mana paling okay, which one is most important. And then step 5, reflect on the process. But why we need to reflect on the process? Because we want to have continuous improvement to our product. Okay. Yang ni kita dah tengok. Okay. For example, this is an example. We want to produce cordless screwdriver. Okay, this is our planning lah. Kita punya justification why we want to produce the cordless screwdriver. So we have a product description, and then we have a key business scope, primary market, secondary, and then yang ni kita dah determine before we do the need analysis. Alright? By determine all this process, and then we can continue by need analysis. So first we need to gather and interpret raw data. Raw data can be gathered via interview, questionnaire, or focus group. Interview is the most efficient lah, okay? Because we can get information directly. No need to if we ask using a survey, sometimes who read the survey, it might be wrong interpretation. Person A read on his interpretation. Person B read the survey, and then he or she understand from his or her view. So that's why if we can have an interview session, that one is the best way lah in order to get the quality data. Questionnaire has a lowest quality questionnaire, but that one is sorry, that one called blood. All right, and then this is a common question. We can ask ataupun we can do a survey. For example, when and why do you use this product? What do you like and dislike about this product? What issue do you consider when buying this product? What improvement you like to see? What will be reasonable price? So all this thing we can this is a general question, but we can use in your questionnaire later. Okay. So this is how do we interpret the data tadi. Okay, so we separate into. Hello?
Ya, tak nampak.
Nampak tak? Tak nampak eh?
Portrait.
Tak nampak betul.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. So we can separate into a few parameters from the survey tadi ataupun from the questionnaire. Okay, yang first typically users. And then like which one is apa ni customer like. Okay, this is up to your creativity actually. How do you prepare ataupun how do you strategize your data punya organization. Alright. What the dislike and then suggested improvement from the customer. So this is all information we get from the questionnaire or interview. Alright. Okay, this is another apa ni example, which is a water purifier. How do we organize and establish importance? For example, for water purifier, primary needs is safety, cost effective, and efficiency. This is apa ni depend on the hierarchy yang saya terang tadi lah, right? So hierarchy, what means hierarchy is the most important you put apa ni the top one and then followed by the apa ni hierarchy, which one is the most important, not important, and eliminated. This is a common apa ni common way ataupun common method we can organize our needs. Okay. Okay, until now, do you have any question ataupun tak faham? Before we continue lagi. Okay, boleh follow lagi faham lagi Class can follow? Understand? Alright. So, in order to establish importance, we can we can scale our needs tadi. Maybe you need to select ataupun you think this is parameter is a must use in your system later, you put a 10, for example. This number is belong to you. If your scale, you think 0 until 5, that means the must is number 5. But this is a example. I showed you the scale from 0 until 10. So you can use any numbers, any range, okay? 0 to 5 ataupun 0 to 10. It depends on your creativity. Okay? And then if you think this good opinion, good information from the customer, and then you put 7. If short, put 5. If nice, 3. If not important, you put 1 or 0, something like that. Okay? Alright, this is just redundant. Okay. Discussion. Need identification process is not exact science, but based on knowledge, institution, and experience. Yalah, because some information you cannot get from reading. You just get this information, useful information from the experience, someone experience, because customer already use similar system ataupun previous system, not from your company, for example, and then they can give their opinion based on that product they use ataupun they have used before. So that's why opinion from the customer very important, because they will tell you based on their experience, for example. Okay, customer need is used to establish a design specification, because when we design the spec, we need to follow the customer needs. That's why if without the customer need information, we cannot design the spec of our product. The result should be organized and documented. If you not document your needs, And then if you want to refer back, they have no information. That's why all the results from your customer need analysis, you need to document it. Okay. Okay, what is a specification actually? Specification is a precise description of what product has to do. Okay. Set of engineering target that a product has to satisfy, measurable criteria goals for design. Okay, this is a spec. For example, computer, right? Ataupun phone. They have their own spec. RAM berapa, memory berapa. If you want to attach the camera, what's the resolution for your camera. If we talk about the space, what's the space of your camera. This is the spec. And then the dimension, for example. So all the spec we can get from the customer needs analysis. Okay. Okay, this is just an example lah. Okay. Example for spec. Okay, this is milestone. Oh, that one is just information lah from a previous punya discussion. Okay, this is for our proposal letter. So in your proposal letter, what you need to have, you need to come out with your problem statement. First of all, sure lah, you need to demonstrate understanding about the problem, and then you need to suggest what the proper solution in order to overcome that problem. And then specification development, some not detail but idea lah. And then you need to give also what the mechanical part, electrical part, software part in your proposal. Okay. Okay. Finish for part 1, customer need. Okay, wait. We goes to okay, class. Until now, have a question? Masih boleh follow ke?
Boleh doktor, boleh. Boleh doktor.
Yang lain?
Boleh, doktor, boleh.
Faham
Boleh,
eh?
boleh doktor.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, this is a part 2 about the customer needs. Okay, I just brief what the important lah, because some notes it redundant from the previous slide, so I just skip which one ataupun the slide that redundant. Okay, this product development process that I asked siapa tadi. Okay, we need to have planning, concept, system level design, detail design, testing, production. But this is overall. But if I ask you to give the design process, you need to give yang kawan kamu berkata tadi. Problem identification yang kita learn from the previous slide. Faham class? Supaya you tak misunderstand lah. Okay. 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 What is a need actually? Need is a use ataupun in the use environment. Product have to serve in a real need and affordable to the customer. This is a nature of need lah. Okay. Focus on user's need instead of want. Okay. This is just briefly description about the customer needs. Yang ni dah redundant Yang mana redundant saya akan skip . Okay. So, how do we define the scope of the effort ataupun scope of our project? So, in order to clear our scope, we need to brief description of the product. Okay, for example, you want to produce a handphone. Okay, you need to just a brief what type of handphone you want to use. Okay, jenis tu. And then key business goal. So, yang ni screwdriver tadi. So, dia punya description, what type of screwdriver? A handheld, and then a power assisted device for installing treated fastener. This is just a product description. And then a key business goal, product introduced in fourth quarter of 2000, 50% gross margin. I think we already discussed that one, but in a previous week punya lecture. Alright, so we need to determine the primary, secondary market. Okay, and then we need to identify assumption and stakeholders as well. Okay. That one also same thing as I told you before, how to gather the raw data by using focus group ataupun interview or questionnaire. Alright. And then that one is a method how do we run ataupun how do we do the customer need punya survey. So this is the method. And then how to process. Maybe we can use a customer selection matrix. Alright. Okay. Okay, this is a figure shows the percent of a needs identified and then versus the number of respondents for all groups. If we can see from here, the yellow show the one-on-one interview lah. Yang ni kalau you can see that shows for interview punya session. And then the blue one shows group ataupun focus group. We can see that if we do the focus group, the percent of need identified is more data compared to the one-to-one interview. Because one-to-one, we just can get information from his person, but for if we focus on group, the data that we get is more more broad, right? So how many customer we need to use ataupun to implement in your project? Siapa yang boleh bagi idea sikit? For example, you want to produce attendance system. How many customer you want to have interview ataupun to give the questionnaire? Berapa orang? Nak saya panggil ke nama ataupun jawab je?
20?
Agak-agak kamu yang sesuai. Berapa?
10.
10?
20.
Sebanyak yang mungkin.
50.
50?
Okay. Bagus. Actually, basically I want to hear your voice actually. So, if you can get more data, your system is more precise. Okay? If you get less data, your system is less precision. That's the main point here. So, it depends on the scope of your product. For example, you want to apply attendance system, at least you need to cover several groups: students, staff, government staff, private staff, not only students. So that's what I mean. For example, you think 10 is enough. For me, it's not enough. Because attendance system will use a bit general because student will use, staff will use, staff also have a private and government. So basically you need to have many data. For example, you said that okay, a student 20, staff 20, government is 20, or private is 20. I think this one is okay compared to 20 for overall. Faham Because it will reflect on your result later. Clear? Boleh?
Boleh.
Yes, okay.
Okay. Art of eliciting need data from customer. Okay, go with the flow. Use existing and competitors' product or other stimuli. Suppress preconceived hypothesis about the product technology. Have a customer demonstrate the product and all typical tasks related to the product. Be alert for surprise and the expression of latent need tadi lah. Okay. Ni kita dah buat. Okay. Yang ni kita tengok, we can see now example book bag design. So you want to produce book bag design. Sure. First of all, you need to have a description kan. Kalau we reflect yang tadi, yang table tadi, yang they have a screwdriver table, dia ada description, key business goal, primary, secondary, apa lagi, they have stakeholders. That one you need to determine first before you go to the customer needs. Okay, for example, if you want to produce book bag design, what the descriptions of your product? For example, you want to produce bag yang boleh panggil apa ni? Boleh galas, ataupun bag that one can bring, like a briefcase. So you need to determine which type of bag you want to produce before you go to the customer punya need analysis, which is a questionnaire. For example, you just put general, produce a book bag without without determine the scope. So in your question letter, you will get many data. For example, customer A want to have briefcase punya design. Second users or second customer, they like bag yang boleh can galas kan. Or third person, they want use ataupun they want to use a bag that have a both punya function. So you will get the general punya idea lah, ataupun general punya data. Unless you do your scope, you already determine the scope of your bag, because in your scope you already defined you want to produce the briefcase bag, for example. So the question just focus on the briefcase. The answer will not get other than that. So many information you can eliminate actually, rather than you just put general punya information. this is how you do documenting the apa ni your data lah. You can have audio recording, notes, video recording, photography. Okay, how do we interpret data? Express the need in terms of what the product has to do, not in terms of how it might to do. So you already clear, not might. Okay, has to do. What product has to do? If you think that person think, okay, maybe this product it might to so that one you can eliminate ataupun you can downgrade. Okay, express the need as specifically as the raw data. Okay, use positive, not negative phrases. So in your question and letter, just use a positive way ataupun positive sentence ataupun phrases. For example, don't ask why you not like this one. Something negative you cannot ask. All right. Avoid the word must and should. All right. Okay, this is a 5 guidelines for writing need statement. You can read. Okay. What, not how, specificity, positive, not negative, attribute of the product, avoid must and should. Okay, this is a apa ni? Guideline lah. You can read by your own. Okay, this apa ni example as I showed you before. Okay, this is we do the hierarchy. So all this process you need to implement in your product later. That's why you need to understand how to do the need analysis. Okay, this the way how do we do the hierarchy process. Print each need statement on a spread card or a self-stick note. Eliminate redundant statement. Okay. Group the card according to the similarity of the need they express. So nowadays we no need lah to use a card, but we can apa ni document in the apa ni Excel ataupun Microsoft Word. Because you can do apa ni row by row or column by column. So which what they have a similarity of the need, you can put in one column or one column lah kan. Okay, choose a label for each group. Consider creating super group consisting of 2 to 5 groups. Okay. Review and edit the organized need statement. Because why you need to review class? Who can answer? Why we need to review? Or we just accept? Huh? Siapa? Who can answer? Why we need to review? Tak jawab saya panggil Siapa? Siapa yang someone answer? Why we need to review?
To follow the scope.
To follow the scope. Okay.
Improvement.
Apa dia?
To make an improvement.
To make the improvement betul tapi correct but not accurate. We need to review because we want to see, as I told you before, we want to see which ataupun what apa ni parameter or data is important, not important, that we rank before. That's why we need to review. Faham After review, we can edit. Okay, this one, okay, we can eliminate. So, we just left a few data. From there, we can review back. You think, okay, this one is enough, and then we can use it. Okay, so this is a final. But if you think that one, we can review again. We do the hierarchy by giving the range, the rate 10, 7 tadi tu. Okay, and then you think, okay, we can eliminate more. That's why we need to review. Okay. Faham eh? Okay, this is a organized list customer need. Macam mana dia organize lah ni. Alright. Okay. So dia letak star lah apa lah. Okay, this is a how do they did for to organize the list of a customer list. It depend on your creativity actually. By put the rank ataupun ranking also we can. Okay. A survey design for ranking customer needs. Okay, this is a survey form lah. Okay. This is a example you can use before later. Right, I think you yang ni clear lah, yang ni straightforward, easy to understand. Use the customer to rank important as well as critical. Okay, macam yang saya kata tadi. Okay, yang ni what's important here, whether the entire team understand the need. Okay, this review the result and reflect on the process. Whether the product is focused on the needs of customer ataupun whether all critical needs are addressed. So this is why we need to review. We want to see whether we send out thank you notes to the customer, whether there are room to improve the process for future effort. Okay, and then based by review the result, we can do whether the entire team understand the need. So this is the important why we need to review the result. This after we get the result lah. Okay, after we do the hierarchy tadi, and then you got the final results. Okay, and then you think, okay, this final result ataupun final data is to use to the future development. But then you can review that result in order to do the improvement for the future. Okay. Okay, keep it ni macam biasalah. Alright. What, not how, meet customer in the use environment, collect visual, verbal and textual data. Prop will stimulate as customer response. Survey to quantify trade-off, look for latent needs. Okay, make a video to communicate result. Many things you can do actually. Alright. Okay, this ada example they use a discussion of the group of lead customer. Okay, if you do a group, this is the rule you need to follow lah. Okay, no one criticize anyone because now you do in the group, right? Not a person ataupun individual punya interview ataupun individual punya questionnaire. This is a group discussion. Alright. So in a group, no one criticize anyone, willing to compromise and reach a consensus. Identify customer need or want. It does not matter whether they are a must or should. It is not yet a product specification. Therefore, qualitative statement is fine because from the discussion we can get the maybe we can say that the best solution. Okay, from there we can do the product spec ataupun specification later. Okay, this is a 4-step procedure you can use, but that one is if you follow that method lah, which is discussion through the selected group. Compared to your previous punya your senior, all of them just did the questionnaire. maybe question 8 is more straightforward, easy to implement because for apa ni, if you target group ataupun selected group, you need to set the time lah, apalah. So it might be ataupun we can call it not difficult, but they have some a few information you need to determine. For example, for example, in the group you have 10 people or 5 people. You need to make sure all of them are available for that time, and then you need to make sure by that day all of them can answer very well. So they have a few problem lah, we can say the problem lah, okay. But they have one advantage actually. We can get the best solution. If you do the discussion through the groups, you can get the best solution on that time compared to the individual punya stage ataupun individual punya proses. You need to collect, you need to review one by one, and that's the problem, advantage and disadvantage lah. Okay. Group of 4. This example, they create a group around 4, and each group comes up with a 5 need statement. Okay. Okay, ni dia punya ni lah example lah daripada from cordless screwdriver tadi. Alright. So, book bag design, example. What are the needs translation exercise actually? First of all, we can see how the leather on the bottom of the bag is all scratched when I'm standing. Okay, this is what all the experience punya user lah. When I'm standing in line at the cashier trying to find my checkbook while balancing my bag on my knee, I feel like a stroke. I stop. Okay, this bag is my life. If I lost it, I am a big trouble. Because this is what all the information we can get from the customer punya experience. Alright. Okay. Ada soalan? Class. Do you have any question? Before we go next punya proses. Ada soalan?
No, Doctor.
No, Doctor, no.
No. Okay, if no, berapa orang kat sini? Sekejap, saya stop ni dulu. Yang mana ada dalam ni boleh ambil attendance dulu. You can take your attendance dulu. Okay, wait, I will show you the. Okay, please all of you